Hello everyone, welcome to another recap episode of Dungeon Boys. It's been 10 episodes since our last one. I try to make sure, first of all, my name's Keith, I'm your DM.
Josh playing the lovable Arlo.
Zenas playing as Grim.
And this is Brice playing as Jack Law.
And this episode has been brought to you by Duke's Barbecue, not a sponsor.
The Dashing Rogue.
Just Jack Law?
Yeah, you didn't say anything about him.
You do
That's
dash
an inside joke from our last episode.
I don't want to make Grim feel bad.
Grim don't feel bad. Grim's name is his thing. Grim is like determination and grotesqueness. I have the thing saved on my phone.
You tell him, Thaddeus.
Thaddeus is a cool name. Consider naming my son Thaddeus one day. But this is a kind of a off-the-cuff recap episode because one thing about Dungeons and Dragons shows that I've run into is that without recap episodes, it's hard to jump in. A lot of times it's overwhelming when you approach a show even with as little as 30 episodes or whatever. It's like, I don't even know what's going on, and I don't want to go all the way back to the beginning, especially when we go back to the beginning of ours where the episodes, the audio quality what left some to be desired.
But you'll never know that.
Yeah, we had clicking. No, we're not re-recording them, Brice. We had clicking and popping and hissing and popping and spopping and dropping and locking and everything on those episodes. So
I don't remember all that.
I want to make
like
it
a 90s hip-hop dance floor in our audio.
I want to make it as accessible for you as possible. So if you're jumping in right now, it's okay. We're going to bring you up to speed. You really should listen to the other recap episodes. So after episode 10, after episode 20, and then this one. And that'll get you up to speed as to what's going on in the world of Mediene, what's going on with Jack, Arlo, and Grim, who they are, and you'll know plenty to jump in here.
This
Also,
is a special recap episode, part 3.
Absolutely.
Got
Part 3. And hopefully,
That
even
made
if you
it feel
didn't-
like a long time.
What?
Since we've done a recap episode.
Yeah.
For some
It's
reason, that other
been a
one
minute.
didn't feel so
Yeah.
far back.
So the last recap episode ended. You guys were trying to figure out what was going on in the town of Fark, because Fark was a small town. Once you left the Isle of Flame, and Fark was a small town where you're supposed to wait for orders from Betty and Corgus, your kind of handlers for the Servants of the Scale, because you guys are in an organization called the Servants of the Scale, who are seeking to restore balance to this world. Balance is definitely I don't want to try to use a trope, but it's a thing. The world is off balance. The High Council is seemingly evil. They're going around picking up people, taking them to work camps. In this world, magic users are touted as better than others, and these magic users have put themselves in power, and they are now exploiting their power and messing up the world, throwing it off balance for who knows whether there's a reason or whether they're just sadistic. Who knows? So that's what's going on, and you guys are an organization that seeks to fight that. Your goal you're in Fark, and you're trying to. First, you're just supposed to wait, but then you kind of get embroiled in this conflict between the
Knowles.
Between the Knowles in the woods and the people of Fark. People of Fark are killing Knowles. The Knowles are killing people, and you guys are all in the middle of it. So what was that? What was going on there? And how'd you feel about it? You enjoy it? What's going on?
So this is after we've already been to town and everything.
Yes.
This is our trip back. The last thing that happened, I believe, would be the end of that last recap, is we dashed out of the gates and
Bird got shot.
Yeah.
You guys made camp in the woods. Okay. So I believe Grim and Arlo were headed to talk to Blackfang.
Yeah.
And Jack was headed into town. Now, of course, we're going to try to keep this episode...
With bones.
Yeah, with bones, yeah.
Yeah, with bones. We're going to try to keep this episode relatively short, just so we can, move on and record some more tonight, really, full disclosure. But so let's not... We don't have to go through
that content coming straight to you. Keeping it fresh.
And tell your friends, by the way. But we just want to make sure that you're up to date, and so we don't have to get rehash every conversation, but we'll get the gist. So Jack is headed into town, and he learned something important.
Yes. I, as Jack, got to the mayor's house, and I heard a conversation going on outside. Do we remember what the conversation was about?
No clue.
It was the mayor was unhappy that we left, I think, is all it was.
Yeah, it's like he's unhappy
and
with
the Knoll escaped. He wanted the Knoll back.
Yep.
So at that time, I had Bones, which was Grim's skeleton. Yeah, revived skeleton, was walking through the middle of town carrying a torch.
Yeah.
Nobody said a word.
Like
normal day. So during that time, I snuck into the mayor's house and found some documentation that outlined Ronald Witherbranch's wishes for something to be kept secret, and that something was the reason for the whole war between the Gnolls and the people of Fark, which was that 3 kids had actually been killed accidentally on a hunting expedition by Ronald Witherbranch, but he blamed it on the Gnolls and forced the mayor to continue his lie. At that time, when I confronted the mayor, Bones made it to the center of town where there was a gallows that had just been constructed that day to hang one of the Gnolls that they had captured. Then we can go to Grim, what he did, because you had something to do with that Gnoll.
Huh? Oh,
he had already set it free.
Yeah, I set him free before we left. That was the last
It was the night before. It was the night of the big fire.
Yeah. Okay.
We because you knew who that Gnoll was, we were able to use the animal messenger to sneak a message to him that, hey, we need to talk to Blackfang.
Yeah, so he came out and met us, and then we got him to lead us. He met us at the children's corpses, right, or where they were killed?
Yeah.
Kind of the location. Yeah, because
they were still there.
The scene of the crime.
Yeah. And then we followed him back and spoke to Blackfang, and we convinced him to come to town, right? At that point,
you convinced him to negotiate.
Yeah. And we were like, no harm's gonna come to you as long as you don't come to harm anybody.
Didn't they lead you to the scene where it happened afterwards? Because that's where I met y'all. Because the thing told me where they were killed.
But essentially, the gist is we saw the scene. Blackfang was convinced to negotiate,
and then we meet up there.
And then we went back to
collect our dwarf.
Yeah.
Yep. Everybody wanted Brian.
So we'll use a little bit of insight. I'll let you with these recap episodes. I'll reward you for listening to them as a little bit of DM lore. It's interesting how, first of all, I'd just like to say D&D is a game like no other. Because while we're making it,
except all those D&D knockoffs, it's exactly those.
I mean, this type of game, tabletop RPGs, collaborative storytelling, listening to you all tell stories about what your characters did, and it's like you're talking about it as if these characters are real or whatever. But in the end of the day, like it's all, you're me putting my brain in your brain, and we're all agreeing on this story, which I think is amazing. But also, what was I going to say about D&D is a game like no other? Because while we're making it, while we're recording an episode, it feels like a bunch of kind of misshapen puzzle pieces clicking together. But then to hear you tell a story, to hear Jack say, I found a paper with some documentation about a cover-up, and Grim says, the Gnoll came out to meet us, and just language like that, it fills me with pride to know that it's, at the end of the day, a story was synthesized in your brains and hopefully the brains of an audience. So it's kind of that thing where while you're making something like, oh, this is trash, but in hindsight it seems, I don't think it's trash while we're making it, but
to this point nobody has broken the story. The story rolls on.
That's true. You won't break this story, baby.
I get so into Jack that I've gone home and I've gotten this close. My fingers are very close together for you guys at home.
I mean, we're talking like a centimeter.
You can hear how close they are.
Googling Jack Law. Because I feel like I'm copying him from like a movie or a book or something. Yeah. And I go home and I'm like, oh, I wonder what he would do in this situation. So I go to look him up and I'm like, wait, it's me coming up with this?
Yeah.
I make that decision.
Of course I know him.
It's very cool.
He's me.
It's cool. I hope y'all enjoy that. I hope we're creating stories. I mean, we've played D&D. We've had so far. This is our 4th campaign. Josh has led one. Zenas has led one. I've done our first one ever, which was in hindsight a true garbage fire.
But it was a beautiful garbage fire.
But it was a lot of fun. That was like
our characters were garbage fires too.
Even now, I'm kind of very lax and like, oh yeah, we can probably do that. I think most when y'all have requests of things, so a lot of times I err on the side of would that be cool or not? Because we're trying to tell a cool story.
Yeah, and as a character, you're always like, man, I really wish that would have let me. I wish he would have let me do that. But it is the failures that kind of build up the character.
Exactly.
It's the constraint. It takes away from the moments when you do succeed if you always succeed.
Right, and I try to adhere to the rules as closely as possible. There's some things that we just don't do. Like there's no rules for Grim to ever have magic hands. But in the narrative that I've created, it works. And we Grim and I, Zenas and I discussed that before.
The character
and
is real.
Grimm's character is homebrewed, but Grim kind of, at least in this world, fits well, and you guys eventually will find out how Grim. We worked his backstory into like the greater narrative, not like a chosen one kind of situation, but the fabric of this universe accepts Grim and has created the kind of situation that he's in.
That and Jack's personality thing.
Yeah, Jack.
There's no rules as written for having a second personality that's a totally different class.
Yeah. There's no rules.
So I derailed us pretty bad, but what I'm trying to say is D&D is really cool, and it fills me with joy to hear that a story truly has been synthesized, at least a little bit, in y'all's brains and hopefully in the brains of an audience. And I thank you for playing and playing well. And humoring me on the different things, especially where I, goof up as a DM or, make weird calls. But I appreciate that.
Back on topic, we're currently speaking to Briar.
Yes. Yeah.
We pitched the idea of him becoming the new mayor before we head back into town.
Right.
We've got Darkfang? Blackfang.
No,
Blackfang.
He's not with us, though.
No, we got Blackfang to agree to not, he cannot bring any other gnolls with him. He's allowed to bring his weapon, but not to unsheath it unless he is threatened.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we meet in the center of the town with the mayor and Briar and Blackfang at night.
So another benefit of being able to describe this in hindsight is we don't have to rehash all the very poor role play that I did in that negotiation when I negotiated with myself for a little while, as well as you guys interjecting here and there. But I played the sheriff and Blackfang who were negotiating with one another.
It had a nice flavor.
Well,
it added some more to the pot.
There were a lot of pauses where I would like subconsciously I would speak as the mayor, the sheriff, and then of course I speak, so someone should respond, and then I would get a look from Brice like, no, that's you. You got to respond. But we had that conversation, and the decision was made collectively that the mayor should be bound and taken to the nearest orc, garrison or whatever to get rid of him. Just take him to prison.
For the Cullings, right?
When did Blackfang give you the...
Right before the battle.
Right before the battle.
Yep, he gave you the horn. Blackfang's horn, which still exists.
Yeah, I still got it.
So we left town, mayor bundled up and ready for delivery.
Right.
And we met with a unsavory bunch.
Yeah.
That was looking for us from a previous encounter.
Our largest battle to date, I would say my largest successful battle I've run.
I like how you don't cap it, and it's like, okay, there could be bigger battles on the horizon. I like that.
I'm
absolutely.
I'm assuming there would be.
Oh, yeah.
I'm counting on it.
That was a 2-part battle.
That's true. Yeah, that was combat for 2 episodes, which
Ooh, Jack was struggling.
Yeah, Jack had a rough day on that one. But Grim, tell us about the battle.
Well, before the battle, Blackfang and Argnon, the sheriff, were talking like they wanted to throw us away. But
not they, it was just Argnon.
Well, it was Argnon he was afraid, and he was like, "Hey, we should just give these guys over, like save the town. We don't owe them anything."
Argnon was the sheriff in the town, right?
Yes,
yeah, Argnon was the sheriff, and he was convincing Blackfang. And I overheard Blackfang, and he was like, "Well, maybe." And then that's when I sounded the horn and brought the other guys into play later on. It was a big bad time for Jack.
I got nat 20'd by a goblin on an orc. No, it was a goblin on a wolf back.
Yeah. You ran around to the back fighting off those guys trying to flank them, and you killed a couple, pulled off some cool moves. Pushed off a wolf's corpse.
That was Jack has always given me some flair to work with as far as I love a good punch through a sternum. I love a good vulture from the sky, but also Jack. He's laying on the ground with his feet on a dead wolf, pushing off of it and sliding backwards out of harm's way. Pretty cool.
And then beheaded the goblin as I slid back and ran off into the woods. Nice. I would have died had it not been for the distraction of the buzzards or vultures.
Yep, 2 giant vultures.
Because there was one ranged guy over there, and he would have messed me up before I got back to the woods.
He was a mage or something, right?
Yeah.
Grim's got a pretty high kill count.
Grim
but
tore it up in the middle of the battlefield
but
when the shroud came on.
I was trying to I activated the shroud and feared those guys, and I was trying to get them to move back so I could move over to Argnon because he died.
Yeah, he died.
And so, like, I had a napkin and I wrote it down. I was like, all right, here's the necrotic shroud timer. Here's the Argnon revivify timer.
Yeah.
Y'all were really close together, so I was picturing like Grim and Argnon fighting back to back, and then Grim suddenly doesn't feel a weight there and just looks back and he's like collapsed on the ground.
Visually, this battle in my head came together really cool because like Argnon and Blackfang were together against these like orc mages, and then there was another like line of orcs that kind of separated Grim and Blackfang. And then of course Arlo turned into a wolf and sent some vultures flying around, and Jack is like running all over the map and everything, trying to kill people and stuff. But that center, that heart of the battle where, you know, Blackfang got a couple good hits, like splitting orcs down the middle with a giant great axe, and like, you know, the typical Viking, like, yeah, like this is the best part of his whole life because he took a beating. Blackfang took a real beating.
Oh yeah.
And like him chopping people up, and like I picture like the camera passes by as he's chopping a guy in half, and then Grim is like, you know, a couple, I think, one hit punches on orcs, you know, sending them to the nether realm, and all just wonderful times in that
Is
battle.
it just
Let's
the
not
wings that are
forget-
skeletal?
Yeah.
Okay.
And let's not forget, Burb rides in to save the day.
Oh yeah, on a tree.
Yeah, because the whole thing was part of the Knolls where they were trying to revive a treant to destroy the town.
creature so hideously large.
But yeah, Bird comes riding in on a giant tree, and there was one. I think there was like one mage left. There was one orc mage left, and the treant grabs a rock
No, there's
and
two.
just.
I killed the other one with a knife.
Yeah, but there's two left. The second one to last to die just gets completely obliterated by a rock that a treant throws, which is the only attack he landed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he threw one
It
other
was a
rock, but I
good
think everything
attack.
else was
Yeah,
dead.
yeah.
There was another
Oh, he
attack. He
hit
went
the-
for the wolf, and it went straight through the vulture.
Yeah, cool.
Arlo had summoned two, I guess like spirit versions of vultures. They looked very real, but once it had taken damage enough like that, when a boulder flew through it, Jack. I'm talking about your character.
Yeah, Brice.
Brice had said, yeah, that's a cool visual. He just kind of like dissolves into leaves and just blows away. I really like that.
Yeah. So all in all, again, it's a lot of fun because in like combat, it's like it's so slow. Like roll the dice, roll the damage. Did you hit? Did you not hit? Oh man, I didn't hit. It's a bummer or whatever. But like in the back, whenever you kind of sew it all together, it's like this is a 25 seconds
Yeah,
worth of battle. It's like
how long did the battle take?
It wouldn't.
half a minute. Probably.
Technically, I only made it to 24 seconds.
24
Yeah, it was
second
quick. It was
battle.
like it was a true clash. It wasn't like a methodical thing.
Yeah.
Maybe whenever we do it from now on, like whenever we get to the end of the battle, we'll take that just 5 minutes that we just went through and
synthesize.
summarize.
I did that when we
Analyze.
started.
Yeah.
I think I would, once we get like 4 or 5 turns ahead, I would say, or like a full round, because that's essentially a round is 1/6 second, so you're all acting at the same time.
Yeah. Well, that's for like small battles. That's cool, but like I think for like an epic battle like that one, we need to have a like on the moment recap of everything that happened. Like,
Sure.
just have the big battle happen in movie time.
But it was big, and nobody escaped, which was good. It was important. You guys kept everybody from escaping.
No one killed the tied up mayor. So,
Yeah, they brought the mayor back.
Yeah.
So yeah, essentially battle is over. Nobody take the mayor. You bring the mayor back to town. Briar becomes the mayor of Fark. You guys have a quick goodbye with him. You are assured that the mayor will stand trial or do whatever, and he'll be he might go. They might send him to do some community service with the Knolls.
Yeah.
The
or
treant
something.
is parked
Yeah.
right in the middle of
garden.
the community garden. Yeah, kind of keeping watch over things.
Briar's got a new buddy in the treant.
Yeah, and the Knolls and the sheriff have kind of like come together to like share the whole like community security kind of thing.
So interesting. The first towns or
You watch
city
my
that
back, I watch yours.
the first city that you left in a bit of disarray. Power vacuum. People are upset and stuff. In Fark, you don't leave that quickly, so you're able to fill the power vacuum and get everything. Though a lot of people died, you got everybody right.
It's about balance.
We did.
Balance,
you see.
baby.
We
Perfectly
did strike
balanced.
up something there at the end of the that other power vacuum. We pitched the idea of.
Well, you did. Jack pitched the idea.
Right.
I did.
Solid pitch.
Yeah. What's his name? Bruner Baker, becoming the new constable for
Lonesome.
Yeah, that's the one.
Lonesome baby.
Yeah, I always forget, is it Lonesome or Mediene that's the main thing?
It's been a while since we were in Lonesome. So.
Yeah.
So at this time, Jack receives a letter from, I think,
It's Maja.
did Argnon hand it to me? Or was it like a courier?
He was a
or-
courier.
Yeah. And it says from mom and dad, or mom and pop, or whatever. And I open it, and it's actually a letter from who I did not catch it at all. Just completely went over my head. Betty and Corgus telling us to go meet Steven Stevenson at the
The
Thirsty Third.
Yeah.
Got it.
Not Steven Stevenson, but
Simon.
Simon.
yeah.
I'm thinking of the guy from Lazy Town.
Robbie.
Let's
Lott.
Robbie.
go.
God rest his soul.
So yeah, we got in there. Jack decided to go speak with the mages, and he got a book on Wizarding 101.
Yep.
And
Arlo got a fine sandwich.
It was good.
Very good sandwich.
Arlo and Grimm approached Simon.
Yep.
Yes, we did.
So
Finger gun.
So essentially, yeah,
Finger gunning
Simon.
ensued.
Yeah.
So they were told in the letter that they needed to get a key from someone named Simon. Simon was a dwarven treasure taker. He was a bard treasure hunter, and he was not too kind to them. But he said, "Hey, I do have that key, but you got to help me with something first. I'm trying to get a mask from a cave or somewhere nearby. If you help me do that, I'll give you the key."
A mask not of just one face, but of many.
Many faces. And it had to do with a gnomish god, and Arlo was intrigued by that because I did not grow up with my people, so I wanted to find out some more there. Hey.
We grew up with other short people. It's really all the same.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, the same size toilets.
Yeah, well, kinda.
Nothing eventful happened on the way to the theater.
Right.
But when we got there,
Jack had a character moment with you on the way there.
that's right.
Jack was questioning whether it was right that we were killing everybody. Grimm basically said that it's up to you to decide what's really right in the world. Everybody has to kind of travel their own path.
He also made a comment that said, like, I'm cool with it. Essentially, I know who I am.
No, that was tonight.
I know you did say something like that, but it was essentially you weren't remorseful.
Yeah, I think I
And
said
you
I'm fine with it. And I said
Yeah, you weren't judging me for what I had done,
Right.
basically.
No. Yeah, I said you have to find the balance within yourself.
Yeah. Balance.
That was it, because I remember thinking like, you're trying to get a quote in the margins, eh, Zenas?
And
Of the
then
book they will write.
cut to the cave, which
The
is
ruined amphitheater.
Yeah.
which is in the back of a ruined amphitheater. And there's a big old staircase leading down to some hillbillies.
Hillbillies.
That's
They
right.
were kind of nicely dressed, weren't they?
Oh, were they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they were nicely dressed.
They were locals. They were colorful locals. But Simon had a map that led him here, something like that. Tapestry or something, and he had gotten that from
Their mama.
their mother.
Yeah.
And
They were four brothers.
Yeah, and had
Took her out to a nice seafood dinner.
had
And
done
never
the whole
called her
situation
again.
wrong. Yeah. So they who forced him to like stand there? They all got a slap in.
Grimm and
Yeah.
Jack kind of did, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I went down there first as Jack
Grimm
snuck
got paid
around.
to do
I walked up to him and I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And they explained, and I was like, "Oh, well, I'll be a bodyguard for you." And then Jack led old Simon down the steps, and they all kind of punch him.
Yeah. So it was one of those moments that I enjoyed because I don't want everything to be like the answer to this question is kill them and it's easy because of course you could have murdered them all on that stage and nothing bad would have happened to you, but
We're trying to show Burb that is not the way.
Oh, you returned the tapestry as well.
Yeah.
yeah, but it was just one of those moments where it was like it's it's not imperative to the story that you talk to these guys or you deal with them in any sort of way, but you dealt with them in a humorous and sort of, charismatic, don't not hurt them kind of way. And Simon, it was another way, I think, and it helped out in making him out to be the douche that he really was.
Then I put a big old sparkly black ball of rock into a bowl.
Yeah.
Yep.
Banta Black.
And we saw a marvelous performance that was different for all of us.
He did.
Yep.
And Grim had to fight some memories?
A bear? No, not memories.
It was something about like a bed and like people fighting over like
what?
Your sister and
No, my a visage of my sister and my father were on stage. One was One was being like attacked by a bear. The other was being attacked by an onkeg. The onkeg we had seen before, and Keith mentioned like you might
one
remember.
of them was sleeping or something,
No.
and like they were being attacked.
They were both on the ground, like
Help me!
calling for Grimm's help. And Grimm rolled. He failed the wisdom save, so it was very real to him what was happening.
Great RP on the emotional state of Grimm, because he was like asking you, like it's not something Grimm would normally do, but he was actually asking us for help.
Yeah, true.
So
not something I noticed at the time, but absolutely.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Then we all got the that was like the precursor to the show.
Right.
Yep.
Then we got the other show.
Yeah,
before the show that happened inside the thing.
Yeah,
there were so many shows.
You met, and in voice only, you met Gold Glitter Gold, the gnomish god of performance and good times.
A little bit like a Southern Julia Child.
Yeah, something like
Jack
that.
did not have a good time with his show
Yeah.
because it showed his past. The others saw their things.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. So it kind of, Jack's show was kind of themed on the darkness of his past and where it may lead. Arlo was shown a show that, kind of the brightness of his past and where it could lead. And Grimm was shown a little bit of insight as to where he came from and then where things for his family may go eventually.
Arlo
as well
did
as some pieces of, nuggets of truth about his existence.
Kind of good old truth nuggets. Arlo did see something about like a voyage on a boat, and somebody had like come up behind Briar to like attack them or something.
Mm-hmm.
But Arlo has never been on a large boat like that. So,
Right.
yeah. So there was truth. There were truth nuggets, but then there was also mystery.
And Burb was not pleased with his show. Burb was very sad after his.
We
find
as
out
players
what
do not know what happened to Burb.
No, nobody asked Burb what happened in his.
I think
We are
did.
bad people.
Or he didn't talk. He said he didn't want to talk about it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the shows ended and the thing opened up and we could enter.
Mm-hmm.
Stone curtains.
We
Go into the
didn't.
green room.
Yeah.
We didn't find out what Simon saw.
No.
Didn't ask.
Yeah, we didn't care about that.
Nope.
He
But
didn't
we made
volunteer
it
it.
to big old room filled with dresses.
Yeah, with wardrobes.
Wardrobe. That's it. Yeah.
Black
Imagine
And Garl Glitter Gold gave you a game to play.
Arlo did great at the game, by the way.
Yeah. Arlo did.
Nat 20.
Each
As
person,
Rick Sanchez.
That's kind of what it sounded like. Yep.
each person had to individually perform as a different random, creature or set of person. Arlo succeeded, and he did not have to fight. Grim, was it Jack then Grim? It was Grim then Jack.
No, it was Jack and Grim.
Oh, okay.
I think right.
I think the knight was last.
No,
You
you
were
went
the
next.
first one to fight.
Yeah.
And then we had a split of episode, and we had
Yeah.
a nice fight with Jack.
Yeah, Jack was the opener to that episode. That's another one of those things I wish I could retcon. I wish that the knight hadn't been fully knocked out, and Jack they could have had a duel, and it was I see that you're the superior fighter, and it just kind of bow out, and he walks to the wardrobe on his own, which would have not just
That'd be up to me.
Yeah.
I would have to think. Would have had to think of that.
yeah.
But before that, Grim had a fight with a troll.
Probably my favorite moment from that whole.
And
that was
Grim
pretty
had
good.
a good voice as well for his troll.
Yep.
If he'd like to do it here now on our show.
No.
Alright then, guess it's just me.
That was episode 26 if you want to tune in.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I first did the voice, to me it sounded so similar to yours. I was like, people
It's
are going to
pretty
think
much
it's
the
just
same.
Keith speaking for me.
No, it was
You
perfect.
said that, I think, in that
It was
episode.
perfect. It worked great.
Interesting. So far, those have been my most fun episodes because I didn't struggle with the accent so much.
Yeah.
I got the pirate pretty good. I got the go get the gold and the troll.
I did like Garl too. That fight, Grim just blew out both of the dude's knees. Jack got a running start and jumped and tried to hit him in the face, but pretty much just bounced off.
Yeah, that first one, Garl let you help, but then Jack had to fight later on, and the true rules is that you're supposed to do it by yourself. Let's fast forward. You succeed. Garl Glitter Gold says, "All right, you did it. Simon, come grab your mask." He gives Simon the mask of many faces.
Mask of many faces?
The mask shrinks, the mask shrinks his head down to the point where he dies. And Garl laughs as Simon dies because he gave him the mask of
He thought it was the mask of many faces, like multiple faces. But it's like miniature, so his tubes didn't work.
Yeah, I don't know what episode that is, but go back. Bryce's recounting
that is
of
episode 28.
it makes me think that it was very humorous, so I want you to go and listen to it.
That was the best. That was the best. Tubes. Now, through all of this, Arlo, knowing that this is a gnomish god, is actively thinking this is a small mask for small faces.
Yeah. Well,
So
you got it right. But really,
he
after that,
thought he had the inside track, but
whenever his head shrinks down, the key comes out. This key looks very much like the same black stone that you put into the
and the violin.
and grabbed his violin, Simon's violin. You grabbed the key, and then Garl actually did give you the mask of many MANY faces that allows you to transform into different people, up to 5 people.
I think I got both the key and the mask.
Jack got kind of agitated by the whole thing being a joke and kind of stepped away. Grim handed Jack back his necklace that keeps him from dying.
Yep.
I got a fiddle.
Yep.
We reemerged.
And Garl Glitter Gold kind of revealed that he and the other gods have, they know what's going on, and they know about the servants of the scale, and that they tend to be rooting for you a little bit.
If I remember correctly, Jack missed that because he left to go get the cart.
Maybe
So Jack does not know about the whole their other gods and other items of godly power.
Also, Garl reveals that all the gods have created an item, and that they're hidden throughout the world if you want to find them. Let's quickly skip to the next part. You guys approach. I mean, this is pretty much last episode.
Yeah.
Tipped over caravan.
On the way to the Strong Water,
the port you're headed to.
Right,
I've been trying to think of that name the whole night.
Strong Water Transport Company.
Found a tipped over wagon.
Being attacked by kinkus.
On fire.
Lots of kinkus. Like
The
a
kinkus
dozen
were
of
on
them,
fire.
right?
The wagon
Like
was on
four.
Four.
4? I thought there was
Just
like
4.
8
No,
or more.
4.
Okay. Well, then,
Musical.
we got up there and we found Misiko being attacked by several Kinku bandits.
Yep.
Grim destroyed them all.
Grim
It was a massacre.
killed all of them, brought one back, told him don't do that no more.
Yeah.
Healed him, let him go.
Burb is a little bit messed up.
This hurt Burb's feelings.
Yeah.
Just
Burb,
watch Kinku
Burb
get
was
killed.
unhappy.
Our lovable Burb.
Jack gave Misiko a healing potion because I lost one somewhere along the line, so that must have been where it went.
It was.
Misiko is not average guy.
No,
Yeah,
he is yellow.
Kind
And
of, dry yellow
Yellow
skin,
belly swine.
has slits for a nose. His
Is
eyes
that
are tight.
a gift?
Githzerai, I think is
Yeah.
what Keith said.
Jaundice
The
Voldemort
race is
looking.
like Githzerai or something. His ears are long and like more than Elven. It's like Jack and Daxter long.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of like
A
seems to be a little
Lombax.
middle aged.
Mm-hmm.
And he was traveling. He's trying to get back to the Round Isle, which is the same place you're trying to get to.
Right.
So you guys make camp. Misiko is caught leaving the camp, but he is heading into the woods where Arlo and Burb are trying to hunt rabbits because Berg left behind his sword. Berg is excited after overcoming some emotional trauma with Arlo. See last episode that he removes his sword, which attracts the ire of a basilisk, which is the same basilisk from episode probably 9.
So it crossed the bridge?
Yeah, I'm wondering how it hunted us down.
I mean,
maybe it swam.
I mean, it's a big old monster. It could climb down the wall. Maybe it could go through the water. You don't know a lot about basilisks. The sewers.
Sewers.
I like that.
Basilisk.
Canonized sewers.
The sewer croc. But essentially, they killed the basilisk. They have like 30 basilisk spines, which are absolutely huge. Probably difficult to carry, but you put them in that wagon.
Oh, we're going to do it.
And Jack has some basilisk eyes, and that really brings us up to date for the current episode.
Basilisk guy.
Yeah.
So that was a quick recap.
Yeah.
Definitely need to tune back in and catch episodes 21 through 30.
Absolutely.
And
the Simon arc has been one of my favorites.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
It's a short one, but it's well crafted and it's got a lot of turns in there.
Well crafted. Much obliged, Josh.
I am down between Simon. Simon had the best voices. I like that.
Yep.
And the best RP. But as far as storyline goes, I like the Fark arc.
You can just call it the Fark with a C.
Yeah. Kark.
No. Let's see at the end, you fool.
I don't know. I think
See,
both of them are
that
really
one is
good.
cool.
I think my favorite is going to have to be the Simon arc because of the role play.
Yeah.
And because well, moving into this new arc as well, we've done some
Yeah,
good
y'all are
role
really
play.
killing it. I mean, it's taken a while for us. I wouldn't say to get comfortable.
It's taken 6 months.
But like something about there's a cork has been popped for a role play. Like y'all are finally, talking to each other without there being action performed and stuff, and I'm really happy about that.
I think it's just continually picking up steam because we've been saying that since like maybe week 3, week 4. We've been like, I think the RP was a lot better this time than when we started.
Yeah.
And then every week it's better than it was last week.
So.
Tune in episode 830 where we just completely forget who we are as people.
Yeah, they're standing.
You're watching this in VR, and we're in motion capture suits.
But it's still just our characters sitting and talking.
But I mean,
about our characters.
just exactly how Brice was saying, like, you go home, you want to like look up your character because like it becomes real for you.
Yeah,
it really does. So it becomes a part of you, and I think that's actually what's kind of bringing it all together.
If you are listening to this episode and you're listening to us gush about D&D,
We're sorry.
we're not sorry. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoy it. If you do, send us an email. Follow me on Twitter at TankMediaGames, and just let us know. Give us a little bit of feedback. Let us know what you think, what you're enjoying, what you're not. Because I'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear from you. If you're on iTunes, be sure to write us a review. Those are helpful to us. We would love to get the show in front of more ears, inside of more ears. And if you'd like to support us and you support
more ears can see us.
If you want to support our love of this game, go to patreon.com/tankmedianetwork if you would like to donate on a monthly basis for as little as $1 a month.
Yeah, I'm all for this becoming Keith's job.
Me too.
But if you guys really blow it up and we can all just take a cut of the profit and we can do D&D all the time and nothing else forever,
that'd be great.
that's
we
fine.
could get to that episode 830 something real
we could
quick.
be there next week.
Yeah.
If just like a couple million of you guys just donate $1 every month, we'd be set.
We'd be set. We'd be good to go.
That's right.
But truly,
Not asking for much.
We truly, if you're hearing this, we appreciate you and we thank you. And remember, finally, that we love you very much.
Doodles.
Later.